Hi, my name is Will Knabenshue. I live in Whitesboro, Texas, and today we're going to talk about a basic trail maneuver that I use to kind of prep my young horses and use it to keep my older horses just kind of going and limber. I start with a 12-foot box. This is very important in trail. The lopes and trots kind of work on a 6 to 3 foot maneuver. A trot stride is 3 steps, or 3 feet, excuse me. And then a lope would be on intervals of 6 feet. So that's where your 12-foot box works out. So when you trot through, it should take 4 steps across, and when you lope through, it should take 2 strides. What I like to start off with, once the horses are comfortable with going over a log and they're not too worried about it, then it's starting to the basics of figuring out how to get their feet work. This works very well. Basically what I'll do is I'll kind of walk through a few times and I form a cloverleaf. So every time I go through the center, then I'm going to always turn left and then come right back through. So it just becomes a real easy pattern. That way the horse is making a turn, going to a pole, going straight, making another turn. Once I kind of feel comfortable with it one direction, as if I start off to the left, then I'll turn around and go to the right. So I'll just kind of start off by going to the left, and we're just going to kind of set his head a little bit and let him walk up here nice and easy and just kind of find his way through. I'm going to make my left turn, come back around. I'm going to set his head there a little bit, kind of came out of the bridle, pull him back in, come straight through. Making my left turn. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my jog here and just go ahead and start this work. I like that because he had to reach for that last step. He didn't add 5. That time he kind of raised up over the first pole and it kind of bled out there at the end. He kind of had to take a short step. I'm very happy with that one. He kind of went through there willfully guided, kept his carriage up, and made his legs do all the work. That one he should have added 5, so I'm not as happy with that, but his carriage was, again, very nice. Once again, a 5. So I'm going to kind of push on him a little bit and see if I can get him to take a pure step through that center. Once again, a little cheat step there. There we go. Now I'm just going to come out here and I'm going to get my lope transition to make sure I get a good lope. Then I'm going to find a place and I'm just going to drop right back in. Continuing on my cloverleaf pattern back to the left. Okay, that one he kind of had to shorten and slow his stride because he was a little too fast. And right here, because of all that, I've got a little trash, what I'd call, where he kind of came out of the bridle. Instead of making a big deal out of it, I'm just going to lope around my circle here a little bit, bring him back in, get him nice and collected, and I'll just drop right back into my cloverleaf. Up, it's still there. Just going to kind of push around. I'm going to drop in right here and see how it works out. Whoa. That's what we call a split. He split the pole between his front legs. In our AQHA patterns, that'll be a penalty 1. So that's something we really don't want to happen. So instead of continue on, I'm going to stop him right there, let him know that's not a good idea, and then I'm going to start again. Much better. Now, whoa, I really liked that right there. It's not a credit earning maneuver, but what he did because of the time before, he was going to split that pole right there, and what he did was he saved me. He dropped his feet early, got me over the pole correct. I didn't lose any penalty points. I probably didn't gain any in the maneuver, but I got across my pole, and my horse actually did something on his own that I told him not to do before, which was very good. Okay, now we're just going to kind of work to the right a little bit. Same pattern. Start off walking. Everything I make is going to be to the right. I'm going to go ahead and take off jogging. Once again, we have a few little missteps there where he's adding an extra foot, but I'm just going to kind of leave it alone and just kind of work each time at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th. See if we can get rid of that. It's occurring every time, so we're just going to see if we can just keep working through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, push. Much better. Very good. At this point in time, I've occurred a couple ticks, but on a young horse, I don't worry about them as much as my foot placement. Those tend to clean themselves up as the horse gets broker. I'm going to go ahead and take off and lope. I'm just going to stay in my cloverleaf so see how it turns out. Very nice. Cool. I'm very happy with those. I'm just going to leave him alone. Let him know he did a good job. And probably what I would do is go back to the left and just keep continuing to work this. As I get broker, I try to wind myself up in the middle each time, but right now you notice I kind of go through the middle or on either side, and I just try to work and get a broker horse as I come along.